it over to you to get started.
Okay, well, look, welcome everybody. It's great to see you here at the conference. My name is Bill Cope. I've been involved in Common Ground in the conference since it all began a while ago. And I can't believe, as Samson said, this is the 16th time we've run this conference. So just to give you a little overview of this session, I'm going to do a brief introduction. And then what I'm going to do is ask each of you to say hello. So I'll go around the room, go around the Zoom tiles and get you to say a little bit about yourself. And as you do that, if you're presenting, we'll bring up a link to your session and we just briefly mention what brings you to the conference, what your interests are, and so on. Now, just to give you a bit of a background, overall background to the conference, we have 94 people attending the conference in person in Vancouver, and we have 66 online. So this is a small kind of specialized event, but that's a very nice response. So we're pleased with that. The online component really was something that we picked up after COVID, or we picked up with COVID all of a sudden, and then decided to keep it as in a blended conference format. And what we do is we ask the people who are presenting in person, if at all possible, to create digital media. Sometimes it's a PowerPoint, sometimes it's a video, so the online people can access everything the in-person people, or almost everything as well. So there are actually 114 pieces of digital media. So there are 114 presentations which you can go to in the online format. Hey there, Morgan. Yes, you can type an introduction in the chat. Absolutely, please do that. I'm going to share my screen just for a moment to give you a bit of an overview of the conference. So let me go. Oh, Tamsin, you might have to enable me to share my screen. Okay, so let me go share screen. And here we are. This is the conference. This year, the theme is about museum engagement. We're in the in-person conference is based in Vancouver, in Canada. A quick notice about next year's conference while we're on this. The next year conference, sorry, I thought that was going to be the next year conference, but it's still coming up. The next year's conference is going to be on this important question about intersectionality in museums, inclusion, and SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, which is the UNESCO framework. And that's going to be held in Vienna next year. So we hope if you can possibly come in person, that would be great. If not, you'll be very welcome to participate online. The other thing I want to mention is that as part of the your registration of the conference and part of your participation in the research network, you have access to this wonderful resource, the Inclusive Museum journal, and also a book series where we've so far published 7 books. So there's a total of 480 pieces of published material there. So over the years, we've been trying to build up a resource of material on this particular important subject. So that's there for you to use as well. And one of the things we do say is, use the resource. There's this advanced search button here, so it's possible to get down to very specific topics by taking the advanced search button. Oh, by the way, there are the ebooks, all of which you can access. Anyhow, to search all 487 pieces of digital media, use the advanced search. And what the Research Network does, it has a kind of a formal process of peer review. So when if and when you're ready to present a paper or submit a paper to the journal, the Research Network participants are the peer reviewers, and it's meant to be a kind of a constructive process of mutual support and learning to build this bank of knowledge. But the other thing we do say to people is, please cite this work, use this work and cite it. One of the ways in which we honor our colleagues in the academic context is by recognizing the work they do in citations. So use the work and please cite it. So that's my kind of brief introduction. And I can see now that we have our Research Network Coordinator here, Amar Kalar. And then what we'll do is we will go, I'll introduce Amar to you all, and then I'll get the other folks there to give an introduction as well, if you're able to, in terms of your internet connections. So, Amar, how are you?
Good, Bill. Nice to see you. And hi, Tamsin, and also all the people online. Wonderful to be in Vancouver and wonderful to be part of the network. All I can say is welcome to those online, and look forward to interacting with you in the next 3 days. Yeah. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Amar. And look, one thing I do want to say is that Tamsin shortly will introduce you to the online platform. So as I mentioned before, this is something that we built during the COVID period, but it's proved to be a useful way to give people access who can't travel such a long way to the conference and take time off their work and from their families. So there are all sorts of reasons why the 66 online participants are online participants. We find these synchronous sessions are quite small, so this session is recorded. So welcome to those who are listening to the recording as well. Most of the sessions are asynchronous, so we will be recording, but also the sessions that have already been recorded by people. And one thing we really implore people to do is when you go to each of the pages, each of the participants and the presenters' pages, don't leave the page without leaving a comment. So one of the great advantages of the online environment is there's plenty of time and space to comment, and there's plenty of good reason to do it as well. So please, please do that. So look, I'm going to go around the room now. Now, Morgan, I think.
Well, can I just make a small intervention?
Of course.
Bill, could you, one of the things we started doing is doing a summary analysis of the previous year's conference. So we got I did, and it's been, Tamsin has shared it, but can you, on the screen that you got, access that article so people, I don't know how many people have actually seen it.
I can do that. Just give me 2 seconds and I'll just find that and send you the link.
I'll stop sharing them.
No, I wanted to, if you could show online how people can access specific articles like that. And that's a summary of last year's Inclusive Museum Conference in Philadelphia. So we're trying to build continuity between conferences and thought processes.
So I'm going to put the link in the chat too, Amar, so that everyone can also see the link there and download it, because with your conference registration you have full access to the journal, which is what Bill just mentioned before. So you'll be able to download this PDF.
Thanks.
Great, wonderful.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Tamsin.
Thank you very much for alerting us to that, Amar. That's great. And yes, I think that's a very good starting point. The conclusions of last year's conference will help you think through a little bit about the agenda for this week's conference. So thank you very much. And thanks for the link that you put in there, Tamsin. That's great. All right, I'm going to go around the Zoom tiles now. And the first person, so Morgan is a Master of Museum Studies. If we could possibly Morgan's link.
Morgan's an audience. Morgan. Geez, I need another coffee today. Morgan is an audience member.
Okay, great. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we'll welcome Morgan. Information there's in the chat. Master of Information candidate at the University of Toronto, researching digital engagement tools and museums. Perfect. Sounds like that this is the conference for you. So welcome, and it's great to have you participating with us, Morgan. The next one I have is Elizabeth. Elizabeth's iPad 2. Is link as Elizabeth a presenter, and if so, can we get a link? And Elizabeth, would you like to say hello and introduce yourself?
We have one Elizabeth who's presenting, so I'm going to put the link in the chat, and maybe we can. I'm hoping that it's her.
I'll bring up my screen again, which is where. Sorry, I'm just trying to see what that window looks like. Just one moment. it's that one. No, it may not be that one. Stop share. Sorry. I'm going to go share again. And it's this one here. There we go. So there we go. This is Elizabeth's. I'm hoping it's the right Elizabeth, but if there's only one Elizabeth, the chances are it is. Suitcase metaphor, mobile body, holder of battered memories, the study of the way absent body is represented in museums. Very interesting, and thank you very much for being here. And Elizabeth is from Northumbria University in the UK, and presenting with her colleague from the University of Sheffield. 57 engagements. That's very encouraging to see that many people have been to this page already. And again, my general comment is please, please, please come back and leave a comment if you possibly can. The next person I have in my Zoom tiles is Celine. How are you, Celine? Are you able to kind of say hi and introduce yourself a little bit and say what you do?
Can you hear me?
Very well, thank you, Celine.
Hi, everybody. I'm Selene Frascella, PhD student at the University of Barcelona in Spain. My presentation is about my PhD research on visitor behavior in the National Archaeological Museum of Taranto in Italy through the use of no-intrusive observation and questionnaire. The aim is to understand how the relationship between exhibition and audience really plays out, what are the visitor needs, and understand how our museum can improve this relationship and get closer to the audience. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. And again, perfect in terms of our overall conference themes for this year. So wonderful, and welcome to, great to have you here. Excuse me. And the next person is Sky, but Sky, you may not be a presenter. We were just looking you up to see whether you were a presenter. Sky, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, I've just unmasked and I literally just walked in the door. I'm a folklorist and designer who lives in Hastings, Ontario, and works all over the world. Most of my work has been in India. I've worked on, and I'm also one of the founders of the Textile Museum of Canada. So that's what I do, and I am audience. So I'm very much looking forward to the next few days.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay.
And Bill, if I could add, had it not been for Sky, Dr. Morrison, I wouldn't be able to land in Vancouver. She helped me out when I had difficulties getting into Canada.
All I did was acted like a travel agent. It was really fun in the middle of the night. Anyway, we got here.
It does sound like a fun experience. Maybe I'm sure it was all positive.
Yeah, it's all good, and I'm very glad he made it safely. All right, I'm looking forward to everything. So I'll be happy to comment.
All right then. And the next person that I have in my Zoom tiles is somebody from Arts WA, and that link didn't work, Tamsin. You might have to send me the link again. I'll try it again, but that link didn't seem to work.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay, great. My name is Aditala Batan, and apologies for the camera off right now. I'm getting ready to get on the road to come up to Vancouver. So, but I'm based in Seattle, so it's not too far away. Just as a brief bio, and so I see that my abstract is on the screen, but I am a project manager with public art with the Washington State Arts Commission. And so kind of interested in multiple spaces and multiple ways in which the public engages. For this particular talk, it builds on my MFA research, which looked at the role of memory. Just how does the creative, whether it's the artist or the curator, which I'm both, but how we remember specific things, how does that affect and influence how work is presented and how that work interacts with the museum archive specifically. So I'll talk about, you know, the methodologies, but I'll also talk about putting this into practice in an exhibit I curated called Blue is Our Color.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And again, it seems so very relevant to the overall themes of the conference. I think I've now covered all the people in the Zoom times. I don't think I've missed anybody. So I'm going to hand over to Tamsin now, who's going to walk you through the environment for those who are not familiar with it as well. And again, it's very encouraging to see that we've had conferences barely begun and we've got 60 engagements on this page already. So that's very encouraging. So again, don't leave a page without leaving a comment. You know, this is very much appreciated. And one thing I need to say is that even if there's nobody there at the time, it's an asynchronous discussion and it triggers an email to the other people who are part of that discussion and to the speaker. So please, you know, and they will get an alert to come back and keep the dialogue going. It's so very important. So I'm now going to hand over to Tamsin, who is going to give you an introduction to the online platform. Again, this session is recorded, so there's quite a lot to digest. So you can always go back over the recording again, and hopefully all the help menus that we have make it a bit useful, make it intelligible as well. Now we comment on chat. Yes, the chat is for the asynchronous sessions is the discussion board under each of the.
I'll show them. I'll show you in just 1 minute how to.
Yeah. Okay. Great. But look, as I say, these sessions. Look, we've got some people here out of 150. We don't, you know, we have them here, but in fact, nearly everything's asynchronous. So, all right, I'm going to hand over to Tamsin now to give her presentation. So over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Tamsin Gilbert. I'm Research Network Producer with Common Ground Research Networks. I'm also the conference producer. You'll see me tomorrow morning at the registration desk at UBC Robeson Square if you're an in-person delegate. If you're online, there's a number of different ways to engage with the conference, and so I'll just sort of run through how to do that. Put your hand up. I do tend to talk quickly. We are recording this so you can go back, but I'll try not to skip ahead and lose anyone along the way. There'll be some time for questions at the end, so please let me know if you need some more guidance. So there are a few ways to get to the conference microsite. Perhaps the easiest way is just to go to the conference website and click this button here, which is called Event Mircosite. You'll get a little pop-up in another tab that will take you to the About page. If you log into CGScholar.com, you're most likely going to end up on this page, which is your profile page. There you'll be able to see the communities that you're a part of. I obviously am a member of a lot of different communities, but you will definitely have the Inclusive Museum Research Network there, as well as your list of peers. I highly recommend that you update your profile page. When your name is listed in the event schedule, it will be a hyperlink and people will be able to click on that name and it will open up with your details. So please try and keep it up to date with your affiliation. Whatever affiliation you have marked as primary is the one that will be listed next to your name. So if you need further guidance on that, let me know. In order to do that, you can do it by going down to the account settings here, or under your name, you can go down to profile and change it there as well. So if you go down to account settings here, what will happen is it'll pop up with all these different types of information that can be updated there. Your affiliation should be marked as primary. If you would like that one listed next to your name in the event schedule, you're more than welcome to add other information there, past experience and education, but just so you know that that's how it works there. In order to get to this page, if you end up by just logging in and you're here on your profile, you can get there a number of different ways. The first way is to go down to your events and then to click on the conference from there. You can also go on to event here. and click on the conference. Here you'll see a number of different types of information. I'm not presenting a proposal, so I don't have a proposal number there, but I can see the status of my registration. Sorry, I'm just going to let someone in. And you can also click this fast button to sign up for the extras. By clicking the title of the conference there, you end up on that about page, which is the same page that I ended up on when I came directly from the conference website. I'll close that tab now since we don't need to. One piece of important information here is the download the e-program and conference user guide. That will open up as a PDF that you are able to download in another tab. Not only does it include information about the conference, but it is sort of a summary of the things I'm saying now about how to engage in the conference online. We have the welcome letters included there, as well as information about the research network, the journal, the book series, and specific to this year's conference, the bios of our emerging scholars and our plenary speakers. So you can go ahead and scroll down there. I'm going very quickly because you can take a look at that yourself later. So we do have our plenary speaker information in there, as well as information about our emerging scholars. All the way at the bottom is the details of how to engage with the microsite now, which is what I'm going to go through. If you are presenting a paper, this will not say submit a proposal. It will say your proposal. When you click on that, that is where you will upload your digital media at the bottom of the presenter page. All online only parallel sessions are asynchronous, meaning they rely on a digital media upload for the form of presentation. There is no live component to these parallel sessions. We do this for a number of different reasons, but mostly because we have such an international group of delegates, and we have over 60 online only participants in the conference. I'll show you how to view that digital media and engage in the discussion boards in just one moment. So it will say your proposal here, and you'll be able to scroll down and upload it. Please do allow us time to review your digital media. You'll receive an email when it is uploaded, but you'll also receive an email when it has been approved, or if there's any problems with it. We do this review process, obviously, just to make sure someone doesn't upload a electricity bill or something by accident, to make sure all the files correspond with the proposal and everything like that. Your registration is exactly what it sounds like. It's information on your registration. Mine's going to be looking a little bit different to yours, but it's where you can download an invoice and information to provide to the university or institution if you need to. I'm going to jump ahead of presentations just for a moment to show you special events. This is where you can sign up for exactly what it sounds like, special events. So this is the session that we're in now. We have a lot of in-person special events that are still open for the next couple of days. Presentations. This presentations tab is a listing of the presentations at the conference, but filtered into various different ways so that you can help organize and find the presentations that you're specifically interested in. This following tab will be specific to your profile. I might follow different presentations than what Amar might follow, what Sky might follow. So this is sort of an easy tab, an easy way for you to get back to the presentations that you might specifically be interested in. I'll show you how to do that in just one moment. Featured presentations. We have a fantastic emerging scholar program. Our emerging scholars have applied for these awards. They're largely graduate students and early career scholars. We like to highlight their work. You'll be seeing them moderating the rooms, both in person and online. The virtual parallel sessions. And so here's a sort of listing of their work. I'll use Chiara as an example here. So each title of the presentation is hyperlinked. When you go ahead and click on that, it will open up in a new tab where you can read the abstract, learn a little bit more about the presenter, the delegate who's presenting it. Like I said, everyone's name is a hyperlink. You go ahead and click on that, and we can see, we can see her profile here, and I'm hoping that I've picked someone today that's updated some information. We can see that she has updated a lot of information here. I can go ahead and add her as a peer, and that's another way to communicate with her. Down here is where you'll see the digital media. The discussion boards are going to open shortly. I believe they're scheduled to open in just like an hour or so. Once they're open, you'll be able to see all of the digital media that has been uploaded for the conference. But right now I can see that it has been, Kiara has uploaded it. I'm going to go ahead and follow this presentation and then go back to the presentation tab. And there we should see that I'm following. Sorry, I'm struggling with some bit of a slow internet at the hotel today. We can see her Kiara's presentation there. So like I said, that's an easy tab, an easy way to just get back to the presentations that you're interested in. And we've done featured, that's the emerging scholars by theme. Say, for example, you're only interested in the special focus this year. You just want to focus all your attentions on that. You can scroll down and they're organized by theme. You might be interested in representation as the theme for the year. So you could, the theme that you wanted to focus on, so you can go down and look at those there. Like I said, these titles are hyperlinked, the names are hyperlinked, and you can learn more about the presentation just by clicking on the title there. By type, if for some reason you're only interested in workshops, you can go ahead and scroll down, or interested in the poster session, you can go ahead and scroll down to that. We have a lot of theme paper presentations, it seems, but there's the poster sessions. So you can go ahead and look and see what posters are on offer throughout the conference. The last tab is a little bit self-explanatory. It's alphabetical, but it's alphabetical according to the title of the presentation. So if, for example, you remember the title of the presentation, but you can't remember what panel it was in, you can go ahead or if you remember some of the keywords, you can go ahead and look for those there. I'll jump over to the schedule now. Sorry. So here we are. This is the session that we're in now. You can see live online only. The Zoom link was provided in that description. You can click on the title there and it will give you more information. We have the walking tour coming up for those that are signed up for that. And so this is another event that's happening today. Then we move over to day one. We'll have our registration and welcome coffee at UBC Robeson Square tomorrow morning. The conference opening and welcome session, followed by a great plenary session with our first plenary speaker. This plenary session will be recorded, and so in order to watch that, what you can do is click on the title of the presentation and it will be uploaded as a video here for you to watch. If you have any questions for our plenary speakers, I've corresponded with all of them. They have accessed here and they will be in the discussion boards there looking for your questions. We have a great session called the Talking Circles that is afterwards, which is a little bit similar to this in the sense that it's informal, and we ask you to go to the session that is sort of you're interested in based on the special focus. For our in-person delegates, please, we'll put some prompt questions here in the descriptions. So you can go ahead and click on the discussion boards there and respond to some of those prompt questions. Then we move to these in-person presentations. Here, I will use expanding access as an example. We ask all in-person delegates also to upload digital media. So we can see that this first presentation, they have uploaded digital media. If you want to, you can go ahead and view that by clicking on the title of the presentation and then asking a question in the discussion board. I want to quickly just highlight this online only tab. So this functions the same way as the in-person panels. We do have the title of the panel, which is augmenting interactions. By clicking on that title, you can go ahead and you can see the abstract and title information about the author. And you can see this little box here that says view digital media. Like I said before, if you click on that, you'll be able to view the digital media. Important to know is that the discussion board is not per presentation, but per panel. So when you click on the discussion board there, it will be for augmenting interactions. We do this for a number of different reasons, but the main reason is we theme panels according to the ideas. We want to look at the connections or maybe contradictions between the papers in each panel. The emerging scholars will be in there asking questions and thinking about these connections. And so, yeah, there's a one discussion board per panel. An important piece of information here is that when you click on the title of your presentation and opens up the presenter page, there is a stat there, which is the number of views on that page. So you can use that information about the number of engagements and people who have viewed your digital media and your page. I'm sure that I've skipped ahead a little too quickly. So at this point, what I might do is open it up for questions. If anyone has a question about how to engage in the conference, those discussion boards will open shortly. And then you'll be free to watch all the digital media that you want in your own time over the next few days. Sky, I hope that answers your question about the chat. Just to clarify, online audio are never turning into a Zoom call or a particular time, right? Nope. You, as an audience member, you'll be able to engage in everything asynchronously over the next few days in your own time. So you don't have to be there at a specific time or place. We like to, you can't, you know, there's no best time zone for everyone to engage, especially when we have such an international group of delegates. So I hope that answers your question, Morgan. Sky, I hope I answered your question about how to comment in the discussion boards. One thing I did fail to mention, two things actually. When you comment in a discussion board, the people in that panel who are assigned to that panel will receive an email saying there's a comment in the discussion board. When someone replies to you, you will also receive an email saying someone has replied to your comment in the discussion board. A second piece of information is that if someone does not have digital media at the bottom of their presenter page, there will be a button that says request digital media. This sends them a little message saying, basically, someone's interested in your work. Please upload your digital media so that we can have a look at it. When it's been uploaded, you as the requester will also receive an email saying it's now been uploaded. So you don't have to sort of keep coming back and keep an eye on that. You will get a notification of the digital media that's been uploaded once that delegate does that. So sorry for not mentioning that a bit sooner. There also are summary emails going out at the end of the day that will include the links to the plenary sessions, so sort of fast links back so you don't have to search through the program, but direct fast links to those sessions so that you can have a look at those. Are there any other questions?
You asked Sky if a question has been answered. Has she replied?
Sorry, yeah, I don't know if I've if Sky, I hope I have responded to your initial question about commenting in the chat, but I haven't seen. Are
you there, Sky? No, she's not.
Mute. Here I am. Yes,
sorry.
I am.
I hope that clarified things.
Yeah, now the other thing is, if we miss a session or we're interested in a session and we haven't had a chance to see it, are you recording it and then we can watch it later in the day?
Yes.
My days are a little crazy.
Yes, for the plenary sessions, we've asked all the in-person delegates to upload digital media. So hopefully they're doing that. You can request them for those that haven't. Also, one thing to mention is that as long as you're registered for the conference, none of this digital media is going away. This is a sort of a live archive of, of the next few days of the conference. So if you see a presentation and you're not able to watch it or view it in the next 3 days, it's not disappearing. You can go back to the event schedule at any time and view that digital media and write in the discussion board.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
I just want to make a comment to those online, and also since this is being recorded, people are listening to it, that after you present your paper, please, as soon as possible, within 28 days, if that's possible, finish your full paper and upload it for the journal. And this is not only Scopus listed, but it's a quartile 1 journal, which is like a tier 1 journal. It's the only museum journal in the Asia Pacific that's not only that's quartile 1 journal. So it will be read by lots of people around the world. You do make an impact, and it's really important you follow up your presentation with written paper. Thanks, Samson. That's all.
Well, with that, what I might do is leave you all. I will put my email address in the chat because I don't want to leave you and, I might hang up today and have another question or have an issue or something over the next couple of days. So please do jot down my email address. Send me an email if you have any issues. Do make sure that you're logged in into Scholar. You do want to see your name in the top right. If your name is not in the top right hand corner of the page, you're not logged in. So you won't be able to see any content, any of the digital media there. So with that, what I might do is say goodbye, and we'll see you both in person and online over the next couple of days. I'm excited for a great week.
Thanks, Tamsin.
Thank you. Have a nice day or evening or morning, wherever you are.